Hey y'all, Coach Al here. I'm in the Queer Garage Gym, and this video is going to be a deep dive into scapular cars. So let's start with what are the scapula and where are they in our body? The scapula are these wing-shaped bones here. We have two of them along the back surface of our rib cage, and they glide. They can glide up, down, forward, in towards our spine, and also get a little bit of upward and downward rotation. The scapula work in concert so much of the time with our ball and socket shoulder joint, also known as the glenohumeral joint, to give us optimum range of motion here with our arms. One of the reasons why cars for the scapula are so beneficial and so important is that because they are so intimately connected with the shoulder joint and the rib cage and thereby the spine, they can get stuck a lot and compensated for, especially if we're stuck in some kind of hovering over position, if you're doing a lot of work over a table, if you're cooking, if you're gardening, if you're working at a computer. The muscles that act on our scapula can get stuck in sort of mid-range and lose a lot of their capacity for movement. And then we end up doing all these compensations with our spine when we need to go to use our arm or with our shoulder. So scapular cars give us a great opportunity to get in touch with what is the pure range of motion that I actually have with this particular joint. It's also going to invite a lot of, just like all of our cars, right? Doing that with our scapula is going to invite a lot of blood flow to the tissues that move those bones. It's also going to help stimulate lymphatic fluid movement and generate more nervous system stimulation so that we can get better in touch with that area. So let's talk about the movements that our scapula are capable of. I like to think of sort of 4 cardinal directions that our scapula can move in. And when we're doing our cars, since it is an articular rotation, we're going to want to ultimately round out those directions to make a full compass. So let's try it on. I'm going to take my shirt off so you guys can see more clearly exactly what's happening in the scapula here. So facing the side, I'll demonstrate our 4 cardinal directions. Elevation. This is initiated by the tissue on top of your shoulder. Okay? You're going to feel this right up next to your neck. That tissue's contracting to bring your scapula up towards your ear. Then we have protraction. Reaching forward. The scapula is sliding along the side of the rib cage to reach forward. This is initiated by these muscles here at the bottom front of your ribs, called your serratus, and also your pecs, your chest muscles. So it can be helpful to place the opposite hand on this tissue and feel it contract once you reach far enough forward. So recapping, we had north, elevation, west, protraction. We're going to go south into depression. That's initiated by these lat muscles here, kind of feeling your armpit tissue contract. And then retraction. I'll show that one from the back. This is your rhomboid, this muscle here, pulling your scapula in towards your spine. So I'll demonstrate all of those directions again, facing the back, so that you can see the movement a little more clearly. Starting with elevation, protraction, reaching forward, depression, retraction, back to elevation. We'll do it one more time. Reaching forward with the chest, reaching down with the armpit, reaching back with the muscles behind your shoulder blades, and then reaching up with the top of your shoulder. Let's go ahead and do that in reverse. It may feel very different in the opposite direction. So we'll start with elevation, moving to retraction, depression, protraction, reaching up, back, down, and forward. Something that's really helpful for me when I'm wanting to check my form and maybe I don't have a coach nearby or a buddy that I'm working out with is to do these standing against the wall, and it'll help me keep in touch with if I'm compensating in my spine. So here I am at the wall. I'm going to stand with my heels about 2 to 3 inches away from the wall, pretty close, because I do want to feel light pressure between my butt and the wall and the thoracic curve of my spine where my rib cage kind of comes out and the wall. And then from here, I'm just going to perform my cars. I'm going to start with reaching up with the top of my shoulder, reaching forward with my chest, down with my armpit, back with the tissue between my shoulder blade and my spine. And I can keep moving like this, and what the wall is doing for me is that it's giving me that feedback of if I start to wiggle around and twist or bend or get a little body roll, I'm going to feel those contact points between my back and the wall change, so that I can keep in touch with what is actually doing the movement here.